people who end up defending things like discipline, order, strength, hierarchy, without actually living under any of that, usually end up defending the very forces that would never, ever defend them. So we're taught that order keeps us safe, that discipline builds character, that hierarchy exists for a reason, and that righteousness protects the innocent. But if that's true, then why did Jeffrey Epstein live so openly for decades with impunity? Decades. I mean, it's not like the man wasn't hanging out on Fortnite. It's not like the man didn't have his own island that everybody knew about. It's not like he didn't know everybody. Yet he was allowed to operate with a certain impunity that people like you and I, we can only dream about. And this isn't really to talk about the evil of those in power or the evil of those with money in high places. Although it's really hard to look at it and say there's not. It's really hard to say that there's not some sort of space wherein billionaires and oligarchs and the like think that they can operate with zero consequences. I think Andrew Tate said something along the lines of like, yeah, if you can't park your car at the airport because there's a certain fine that goes along with that, he says, oh, well, that's for poor people. For me, that's just the price of paying of parking my car at the airport, driving right up to the airport and just leaving my car there. I'll do that. That's fine. I can afford it. Now it's wasteful as hell, but there's people who think like that, apparently, allegedly. But people like Andrew Tate, people like him, Drewski, even the I'm not gay no more dude, I don't even remember his name, but him, people like them, these are useful idiots. Puppets that they put down in front of us so we can be like, oh, look at the spectacle. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Meanwhile, the people who put them in place, who allowed them to be there, who have zero issue with what they're talking about, who are really the monsters, those people you don't even hear about. You don't even see it. You may hear about them once or twice. Like Jeffrey Epstein when he got Epstein, I don't know. Like when he got convicted of solicitation with a minor. So that did happen, sure. But that's like a one-off compared to everything we're seeing in these files. And again, I don't know if these files are absolutely true. I said that in the short that I put out. I don't know if it's true. But I can tell you this, it's really interesting that there's so much to be said of something that's false. There's a whole lot of false allegations out there. Whole lot of false accusations out there. Whole lot. And I'm just saying, this man was not in hiding. Even after the conviction. He wasn't underground. He was in plain sight. The stories of his island became like stories of lore between the elites and those who were within a certain tax bracket. It became the Disneyland for the rich people. I want to go there. I want to see what they're doing over there. What are they doing over there? I want to go. It's kind of how it seemed. I mean, if you think if you get to a certain tax bracket, if you get to a certain level, Maybe. I know me. I know my heart. I know my spirit. I know I try to live in a certain space of righteousness that will not allow me to. But maybe there's some people out there who have a price.
There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character.
I mean, you got people like Channing Crowder from the Pivot Podcast. When he was talking to Terrence Crawford, talking about, man, it would take, I would pay, if you gave me 80 million, 100 million, man, I'd go back in the ring. I'd do that. Yeah. You would. Because you're a sellout.
These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns.
And you've named your price. Tool. You've named your price, tool. That's a reference to a commercial if you know what I'm talking about. But nah, I mean, you've named your price. You're saying that, yeah, I can be bought. And here's how much I can be bought for. But my point is, I'm sure that there are certain people who, once they get to a certain tax bracket, a certain income level, they have no problem in saying, you know what, man, why I gotta live like everybody else? Why I gotta do this regular shit? What's the point? I already got this bread. I got these women. What else can I do? What else is out there? Whatever it is, I can afford it. Let me do that. And that's how we end up with the Epstein list. And look, this is just the intro. I'm sorry. I know I run my mouth too much, but this is just the intro. The point is that we are surrounded by these institutions that preach morality or a certain level of rules that you need to follow, certain ways you need to be. This is how you succeed. This is how you achieve. This is your meritocracy, right? We want things to be merit-based, right? That's why isn't that why we got rid of DEI? Because we want things to be merit-based. Do we want it merit-based, or do you want to be part of the club? And DEI was just getting in the way of you getting in the club or getting in line to be in the club. Is that what it is? These institutions that preach this immorality that you have to follow, they're protected. They are protected by these systems that claim to defend children. And they are shielded by people who swear that they stand for law and order. Swear. So somebody like Epstein didn't fall through the cracks. That dude is sitting right on top of him. And truth be told, here's what don't nobody want to hear. The people that are the most eager to defend these systems, the loudest patriots, the strictest moralists, the people who have their chest out the most, the most disciplined enforcers, right, are usually the first ones that the system discards. Not the rebels, not the critics, the loyal, the useful idiots. This is Society Breakdown. Peace, and blessings. What's good? This is your boy Seven Inglewoods on right now in your zone, and this is another episode of Society Breakdown, where we take a look at some things in society and break it on down, where the ghost can get it. Shout out to Joe Madison. So let's see if we can define the pattern, right? See if we can find the alignment of the survival strategy, if you will, right? The way I see it is they are always looking for, it's like there are those people who are hoping that they can be part of the club, right? Like I said, there's a line, like George Carlin said, right?
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
But there's a line to get into that club, and it's a very exclusive club. And these are people on the outside who are really hoping to gain entry into that club. They want that so bad. And so because of that, they defend that club to the very end. And so to them, the club is the power, right? That's where the power is. That's where the power and the powerful hang out, right? And so to them, they want to be in close proximity to that power as best they can, because that power to them, or being in that proximity, is safety. I mean, look no further than your latest Latino who was working for ICE, watching other Latinos at the border. Did you know that the Customs and Border Patrol is about 50% Latino? So they're at the border, Latinos keeping Latinos out. Again, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying either way. I'm not going to sit here and say who should come in, who should come out. But I'm just saying it looks really weird when you're like, hey, we speaking the same language. You used to live on El Clemente with me 2 years ago. What you talking about? What? How come you ain't talking to me now? Okay, bet. That's what it is. I'm just trying to get like you. You just got here a little earlier. To me, that's no different than the lady here in Texas who was running for state representative.
So vote me to Congress so I can make Texas the worst place for terrorist Muslims, illegals, and corrupt politicians to live in, so help me God.
Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party? Huh? Someone get this jigaboo away from me.
Or somebody like Nick Fuentes who says that Hitler and Jeffrey Epstein are cool. He said that, right? But as a gay, curious Mexican, Latino man, neither one of them would want to have shit to do with you. So what are you doing? So is it that you want to be included in that club to be part of that power? Or are you just hoping somehow, some kind of way that you can have a version of that power for yourself? Because even if you had that, you're not allowed to be in the power club with them. So regardless of what power you get, it's not enough. Tell them, Kendrick. And so for them, the border protection people. Matter of fact, hold on. The people who shot, the two people who shot Renee Good and Alex Preddy were both Latinos. Both of them. And so for them, they're the watchdogs for the power. They're the closest to power, and they're sitting there, hey, power, I got your back. I got your back, power. I got you. Whatever you need, power, I got you. They right there. I got you. Okay, cool. Sorry. I got you. Get it together. People get mad at me if I hold my imaginary weapon wrong. So they are power adjacent, right? And as they're power adjacent and enforcing, they're hoping that that is providing them insurance to remain within the power structure. And with that, you also buy their silence. They're not going to snitch on you because they too much want to be in the club. So whatever you're doing in the club, regardless of how insidious or heinous it is, they ain't gonna snitch on you. They ain't gonna tell on you. They don't want no problems. They want to be in there. Whatever you're doing, they with it. As long as you let them in the club, and as long as you don't turn your gun on them, they'll do whatever you want. Again, they're your watchdogs, and they're your lapdogs. And so alignment isn't about belief so much as it's about hoping that their proximity can buy them some protection. They just want to be close to the power again. And wherever that is, they want it. They need it. Gotta have it. I can't write them off just as simple as that and just say these people are stupid, because in actuality, what they're doing is exercising survival logic, right? They're under a hierarchy where they know their place, they know where they are, but they're just trying to be within that hierarchy. Please just don't wield your sword in my direction. I'm down with whatever you say. Just don't wield your sword in my direction. I already know I'm down here. Just don't. And if you just allow me to be inside the club, I promise you I'll be a good lapdog. I promise you I'll be a good watchdog. I'll be the best watchdog ever.
Toby be good field hand, boss. Good field hand, master.
Ain't that right, Tim Scott? Now, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not saying this to debase, demean, or to put down anybody in the LG alphabet crew or nothing like that. I'm not trying to come at anybody like that at all whatsoever. I have friends, family on all the sides that are within that family, within that realm. So I'm not here to, I don't want no smoke, and I ain't trying to put out none. Because it's not so much about being in that world. But I will say, growing up, I had a brother. My older brother. Wasn't the oldest. The oldest had passed away before I was born, but the oldest brother that I knew, he was gay. And we were all in the church. We all grew up in the church. Church of God in Christ. Like we're playing. But we grew up in that church. And, you know, I mean, as part of the church, you know that if you are gay, eventually you're going to hear God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, right? And my brother came out, was in the 80s? In the late 80s? Yeah. So he came out in the late 80s. And he was constantly bombarded with those messages, you know, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. You need to turn your life over. You need to live your life right and all this stuff. To the point where he was depressed. He was, you know, hurting himself, taking drugs, bulimic, anemic, had all kinds of things going on. But he could sing his ass off. Oh, he could sing his ass. He could sing like, boy, he could sing. And he would sing to the glory of God. Go to the church, give him his talents, play for the choir, sing for the choir, play the flute sometimes for his choir, for the choir. Played in the state choir, sang in the national choir. Did all of that. My brother did that, right? But there was always but he's gay. And it's like he was always trying to fit this square peg into this round hole of Christianity that just didn't seem to fit him. Now, I'll admit, before he ended up passing away from HIV, he did end up turning his life over, and I guess he said he wasn't he said he wasn't in that life anymore, right? But, I'm his brother. I'll just say that. I'm his brother. And okay. But it's just like, because if the Bible's talking about if you sin in your heart, then you've already committed the sin, then in hell. I don't even want to do him like that. But seriously, my point is that he was continually trying to fit himself into a space that wanted everything from him but him. That sound familiar? You ever heard of America? You ever been black in America? Are you black in America? Then you probably have an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm saying that to say that he loved the church. He knew that his family was in it. Uncles, aunties, grandma, cousins, all of them, every single body, both sides of the family, everybody was in the church. He knew that. And so that's all he knew. And so he wanted to be accepted by the thing that he knew that didn't want him. It just wanted his talents. Again, just like America. They don't like black people, but they want our talents. They want our speed. They want our ingenuity. They want our consciousness. They want our swag. They want our thoughts. They want our ability, but they don't want us. And when they get us, the ones of us that they get, they ain't the ones that they want. Ain't that right, Tim Scott? I'm going to keep fucking with Tim Scott because I don't like that dude. I ain't going to lie. Oh, dude look like Mushmouth from Fat Albert. he looked just like Mushmouth. Okay? He got the mouth. I know I shouldn't, right? I shouldn't be talk about it like that. I'm sorry, black man. My bad. So what we're talking about is the institution versus the individual, right? And so the institution has a set of rules, regulations, and things that you have to abide by to be a part of the institution, right? These are the tenets by which this institution operates. You have to operate within those tenets. Okay. One of them is you can't be gay. I mean, like it says that. So I would always be like, well, why are you trying to fit yourself? Why are you trying to go to a church when you know that they don't want you there? But again, that's all he knows. And that's the only power that he knew. And so many of us, I feel, are doing that same thing, doing that same song and dance. And, you know, people talk about, well, God uses drunks and God uses rapists and God uses, okay, sure. So does that mean you got to go out and be a drunk, be a rapist, and be an asshole? Because God is going to forgive you while the people around you think you full of shit? Because I swear, the next time I see some dude talking about, I cuss a lot, but I'm a Christian. I drink a lot, but I'm a Christian. Like, hey, I ain't be down. That's cool, but I just know with the way I was raised, that ain't what it is. And this is coming from somebody who don't even believe in that shit no more. But I'm just saying, if you're going to do it right. Don't bullshit. Don't be sitting there in line with me at the liquor store and talking about, I got to go to communion in the morning. Get your goof ass out of there. Fuck you on. What is you talking about? And it's just wild to see these people or these institutions hold this level of, or hold this line of integrity that people are measured by, right? While then we see the people who are actually inside that club or inside that facility, inside that institution, they ain't following it. And if they ain't following it, then what are we doing? What are we talking about? Was it just control? Was that what it was? Just to get you in there? So now I got you. Now you in the club. We got you now.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
You're our captive audience. We got you. No. You want it in. You want it in. Now we got you. Now we can do what we want with you. And that's not to say that churches are heinous, but we know that pastors and some people in positions of power have done some heinous and insidious shit to kids and people who are under them, under the guise of, well, this is the closest I'm going to get to Jesus, and Jesus is the power. So if Jesus is the power and this is his soldier, then I guess I got to get on my knees and give him head. Like, that's what y'all be doing. Didn't a pastor have some woman giving him a head because she needed to drink the holy milk of the Lord? Some goofy shit like that. I'm just saying, like, when did y'all stop to think and be like, wait, why do I want in this club? What am I getting by being in this club? What is the real payoff? What is the real benefit? And if it's just about being in proximity to power, then just say that. All y'all drunks, all y'all pedos, all y'all rapists out there who think it's cool to do those things while still saying, but Jesus first. Hey. Just say what it really is. Just say, look, I heard that this Jesus thing is winning, so I'm trying to claim it but I really still want to do the thing I've been doing, and as long as I'm doing the thing I've been doing, but claiming Jesus at the same time, don't nobody mess with me for real. Just call it that. Just say that. Just say that. Because look, at the end of the day, y'all wanting acceptance from an institution that is requiring your erasure. That ain't faith. You're just bargaining with your dignity at that point. I mean, how many times we see or hear about somebody in church getting assaulted? We just saw last year there was a lot of ruckus about a pastor who I think was in his 60s who had married a parishioner who was 19. You make of that what you will, but I'm just saying, 60 something and 19. But then you have people who go around using their theology as a means to keep you bound or try to keep you, hey, you shouldn't do that. You should, hey, don't do that. That's not what the word says. You don't do that. Okay, cool. So that means you ain't doing it either then, right? Don't hold me accountable for some shit that you ain't doing. Don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Hey, we got too much internet, too much thinking, too much get the fuck out of here with that bullshit in us nowadays. It just ain't gonna let stuff like that slide. If you want some rules for thee but not for me type shit. I'm just saying. It ain't gonna happen. And so within all of that, all you're getting is love that's promised, but with an asterisk. You know, terms and conditions apply. And we would take it back to your boy Epstein. It's like he's proof that these institutions are used to protect the power, right? And they maintain silence through mutual risk. So like, hey, I don't tell on you, you don't tell on me. I remember there was a time when I was a shorty and me and this dude got caught up doing something real stupid, right? Well, we were both doing stupid stuff. I won't say what it is because, again, we was doing stupid stuff. But we was doing some stupid stuff. We was kids. And, well, he was older than me. See, and that was the problem because I was like, he's older than me. He should know better. But I'm doing it too. And I know if I tell on me, if I tell on him, I'm going to tell on me at the same time. But my integrity was so high even then that I was like, fuck that. This needs to go down. I don't care what happens to me. I'm telling on him. And I did. Now, I'm not saying that I was the most integrous person that you ever go meet as a shorty because, hey, I used to steal. I used to do a whole lot of shoplifting as a shorty. I ain't gonna even hold you on that. I get my first PlayStation that way. I digress. But my point is that loyalty is only value because it contains the damage. Like if again, there's that mutual. It's almost like when people talk about cheating. You know, if you're gonna be that type of cheater, if you're married, cheat with somebody who's married because then y'all both got something to lose or some good shit like that. Like I heard people say shit like that. Or you know, if you married, don't mess with somebody that's single because the single girl ain't got nothing to lose, or the single dude ain't got nothing to lose because they'll blow your whole spot up and they don't care because again they ain't got nothing to lose. They don't have a marriage or a partner to lose. They got you. So you know that happens. And so with your boy Epstein, it's like we're seeing with all the files that have come out, loyalty mattered right up until it didn't. And when that loyalty stops reducing the risk, it stops being valuable. And so these useful idiots, right? They step into place. They are the value. They offer value by being a useful idiot. They're a good distraction. They're a court jester. Hey, look at me. I'm saying dumb shit. Hey, look at me. I've said something outlandish. Hey, look at me. I'm making a joke that gets everybody upset, Drewski. And I ain't saying that his thing about the pastors wasn't hilarious. I thought it was because I'm like Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey, a bunch of comedians have done the exact same thing. I don't know why everybody's mad at him about that. But when he decided to do that shit about Jackson Smith and Jigba and mess his name up at the ESPYs,
Jackson Smith Jigba, Nigaba,
on purpose, that's when I'm like, okay, fuck this dude. Fuck him. Sorry, fuck this dude. I mean, I wasn't a huge Drewski. I mean, not even say I am not a huge Drewski fan. I've only know his face, and I know a couple gifs and memes from him and saying a couple things. I have never seen like his real anything. I've never seen anything he's done in fullness. I think I saw the redneck thing that he did, and I saw part of the church thing, the church thing he did. But even that, like I said, I didn't see it. I saw at it. I saw parts of it. But my point is that no. You're just being a useful idiot for the power. Hey, look over there. He's a distraction. Hey, look over there. That's all he's doing. Nick Fuentes. Hitler's cool. Jeffrey Epstein is cool. What is cool about eating children? That's what's in the files. What exactly is cool about torture? But this is what happens within the realm of power. And this is when people are looking the other way. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't know. I don't know. I mean, here, look at Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, Kristi Noem. All three of them mugs have said they wouldn't fuck with somebody like Trump. And now who do they all work for? I could have, let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure they work for Trump right now, right? But that's that let me get close to power shit. Oh, Trump is in power. Oh, hey, look at the power. Hey, can I be a part of the power gang? Hey, guys. That's what that is. That's what that becomes. That's what it's turned into. And I'm telling you, for each one of these, I mean, we're starting to see the veneer starting to unravel. Kristi Noem being one of the first ones to start to crack. Kind of flipping on Stephen Miller a little bit, right? We've seen that in the news already. And so we see that loyalty to the power, it matters until it doesn't. Because these useful idiots, in a way, if they are no longer able to reduce or stop the risk, then they no longer are valuable. And so we could take that to ICE. Same thing. With the Latinos working at the border, working in ICE. ICE having a $170 billion budget. Fuck they need $170 billion for? I mean, we know what they could do with it. But let's just speculate. What do you think they're going to do with a $170 billion budget? Put that down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. But from ICE, we go to our moral spokespersons, actors, actresses, who are making joke upon joke upon joke upon joke about pizza for some reason. Only to find out that Pizzagate that came up in the Clinton emails may be a real thing. Adam Sandler and Ellen was joking about it. And we ain't heard from Ellen since. It wasn't since the pizza thing. I'm just saying, we ain't heard from us since she left her show. For real. I think didn't she leave the country? I think she's in a whole other country. When stars start, I mean, like big stars like that, start, just say, let me move to a whole other country. When the money is here, when the jobs are here, when everything else is here, what are you running from? I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Just curious. I don't know shit. I'm just wondering what you running from. But yeah, you got these symbolic minorities who are in place, who are somewhat of the gatekeepers, but they're also playing the role of the court jester, and thereby being the useful idiots. But I'm telling you, the moment that any of these defenders or protectors or court jesters become inconvenient, embarrassing, redundant, or symbolic of hypocrisy, they're disposable. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Inconvenient. A defender that becomes inconvenient. Think of somebody like Rush Limbaugh and how the GOP has distanced themselves from his craziness, right? Somebody who's embarrassing. Think of the I'm not gay no more dude talking about doing that in front of the Church of God in Christ at the Church of God in Christ National Convention, right? Only to be online looking gay as hell damn near at all times. Damn near. He had some moments where he tried to talk like a man. I was with a woman and it was nice. I think but he's somebody who's embarrassing. I ain't gonna get into that world and that life because I don't know. But I'm just telling you what it looks like from the outside. And then you got somebody who's redundant, right? Like the Latinos who are in ICE. And somebody who's symbolic of hypocrisy? Tim fucking Scott in the GOP. I told you I can't stand that dude. And I'm sure he's wonderful, but I can guarantee you he doesn't have many black friends. He has a few, I'm sure, but not many. He can't. Not after all that lapdogging he was doing for the GOP. Absolutely not. What self-respecting black person is going to hang around somebody who's sitting there bootlicking for the GOP? Actively, on TV. While they shun him, on TV. Who's doing that? But I'm saying, when these people become useless or no longer useful in the capacity that they've been used, they are disposed of. They don't go after the rebels. They don't come after the critics. They want these people out of their way because they're making them look bad. Get out of my way. Hey, yeah. I know we did the Church of God in Christ thing. You came up and said, I'm not gay no more. Hey. But you're doing a whole bunch of craziness right there. Go on somewhere. Get off my stage. Yeah. Give me the mic back. Yeah. Right. Beat it. Hey, guards. Something like that. You know, they start pointing. God bless. I mean, so these systems don't reward belief. They don't reward compliance. They punish exposure. They don't want to be seen. And I'm not saying so much for the church. Obviously, the church, they do whatever, but they don't want you to know what's behind the scenes at the church. If some underhanded shit is happening at that church, they don't want you to see that. And if some institutions are only based on underhandedness, I guarantee you they don't want you to see that.
The great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
And so what I'm learning, what I'm seeing from this is that people who understand that there is or who acknowledge some level of a hierarchy, right? Like Nick Fuentes, knowing that he's a Latino, gay male or gay curious male, he know that he's not the superior white male that everyone's looking for to make institutions lean in the direction of. He knows that. And so he is angling to be that guy. He's angling to be in their pocket. He wants to be their person, right?
I feel as though I've been used again. I feel as though you've bought another token. And what I'm disgusted and tired of is tokenism.
But acknowledging and knowing that hierarchy is there doesn't protect you from the top down. I've yet to see any trickle down happen that actually worked for the people underneath it. They were basically just getting pissed on. And so what do we get in all this, right? Dignity or integrity, right? It doesn't come from acceptance by the power, by the institution. That's not where you get it from, right? It comes from refusing to beg those institutions that need your silence to survive. It requires you to stand on what you believe in. That righteous shit that you say to you about, be about it. And if you're not, then keep sucking for the power, I guess. I mean, that's what you're going to do anyway. Right? So with all that said, there was a lot that was said and there was a lot that was not said. But for those of y'all who are able to put it together, let me ask you this. Do you think that Epstein was the power, or was he the useful idiot to the power? I'd love to know your thoughts in those comments down below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Society Breakdown. This has been your boy 7. Make sure you follow me on all the platforms, your boy 7, or Society Breakdown on all the platforms where I can be found. And if you would, please hit that like, hit this share, and, subscribe and all that good humana. I could use the views. But until next time, y'all take care of each other. This has been your boy 7. Peace. And I'm out.